And so, Lauri, tell us, what is the vision that you have for Glo ATL?
Well, Glo ATL is a 24-month-old movement-based collaborative platform. We're a 3D arts organization, so everything we create is three-dimensional, like moving sculpture. And I think about 25 months ago, I realized that less and less individuals were going into a traditional theater space, and that perhaps if we met the city halfway and brought them the art, which meant we would be in non-traditional spaces, then eventually we would find a shared backyard to experience arts and culture. And that is Glo ATL. Glo, G-L-O, is a term, a Dutch term. It means a group of individuals who congregate to witness a unique event. So that's where we came up with Glo, and we are based here in Atlanta. I'm based here in Atlanta, so did I answer your question?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Great. So you've been around not even 24 months, 2 years, and you've already performed in front of like 40,000 people, but not in traditional formats. They're in open spaces at Lenox Mall, or in the space in the space at the High, or you did, I know, a concert with Big Boy from Outkast, and so these kind of unique spaces that you were doing this in. And one of the things in the conversation we had was that when you say art, people don't normally think of dance, right? Why is that? And yeah, why do you think that is?
Yeah, that was our challenge, and it's a good challenge to have. Dance has seemed to fall nearly at the bottom of the hierarchies of the art forms for hundreds of years. But something wonderful is happening in the world, and it's called globalization. And that means that most of us in this room are migrants. Raise your hand if you're a migrant to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Oh, so there you go. Thank goodness. Which means that we moved here, and which means that that I was in one place, and through movement, I found myself in another community, gathering, collecting ideas, learning about the new people around me, constantly morphing, being available to the person next to me that perhaps is a stranger, but 2 minutes later is now a friend. And those are all movement-based principles. And this is where dance is actually beginning to take more of a role of a catalyst in the world of art. And it's very exciting. And Atlanta happens to be one of those communities that is supporting and actually kind of thriving in that mindset. It's very vivacious right now for the dance community here. And yes, absolutely, that I can take these ideas that we have that are based in movement, a movement language, out onto the campus of the High Museum, and that too many people come. They actually take over the work. 2,500 people within an hour is quite exceptional. And how delicious is this? So
that's great. And you talk about public intervention. Can you explain or describe what that means for the work that you guys are doing?
Yeah, it's such a strong word, right? Intervene. Public intervention. You know, the word site-specific is something that perhaps still a lot of the press uses, but it's a bit dated. So I like to rather suggest that our work is time-specific, because the materials I use as an artist, and what makes Glo a little different is the way we go about finding movement. It's not picture-based. It's not based on lines. For so long, dance was based on an image, and there's this incredible movement system in Israel called Gaga. It's really extraordinary. What it's allowed dance to do is look from the inside out. And so as I'm making movement, finding the picture comes last. What comes first is very much like terminus, the individual. Who's going to wear the shirt? That's what I'm interested in. So all of our works leave pockets for you So the work has a very cohesive structure and form, but inside the work are these little oxygen pockets, I call them, so that you can actually take a hold of the work at one point and alter what I thought it was going to be. So that is public intervention. Ultimately, we are the human species, human beings, you and I, we're built to move. And we've got a lot of things that are different about us. But there are 6 or 7 or 8 things that hold us all together and that we are in constant desire of. And those are our senses. And one of them is the ability to touch someone. And ultimately, our little journey here on planet Earth is completely enraptured with the idea of touching people. Yes, and that can mean either literally or not, but we're all trying to reach each other.
And so now you're training other artists, right? Explain some of those programs that you've started so far.
Yeah, we actually started when we began 25 months ago here on the campus. The Woodruff Art Center gave us space as artists, which was extremely generous of them. And we began with an intensive for emerging artists. It's very contemporary, so let me be clear, this is very contemporary, these ways of thinking and moving. So 25 months ago, some 50 artists between the ages of 15 to 32, a huge span, right, of age and experience. That's what makes the room even more acute and exciting, because what is age and what is maturity? This is how we began. They came from all over the first year, and now in 25 months we've had 3 intensives. And they come as far away from as Jerusalem and LA and St. Louis, and that's an aspect of Glo that not many people know about, because our work, our creations get quite a bit of attention, and so everyone thinks we're creating work. But the truth is, behind closed doors, we're doing a lot of educating, and ultimately, half of these youngsters are not going to be dancers, and that's just fine. But they are going to be completely, outrageously, very clear and responsive and genuine in whatever they do through this way of thinking and doing.
So I was asking you, what is one thing that you hope an audience like this takes away from what you're explaining in the projects that you've started? What is that?
Well, I guess I like to think of it all as viral. So, and we know what those viruses are as far as living on the computer. But what we do is viral as well. And so the willingness to be infected, but I'm not talking about a bad virus, I'm talking about a good virus. So we're hoping that you are willing to be infected with this virus.
So there you go.